Alright, welcome back to part 3 of Digimon World's 2 Alternative Mod. I was actually about to record a different game, and I realized, oh, I actually have things to talk about today, so I should probably use that in the game that needs it. Alright, this is easy, we're just going there, right? What are items look like? Okay. Yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah. So, a couple things. I went to a wedding yesterday. That was pretty cool. I went to my boss's wedding. And, first time that my girlfriend got to meet, all my coworkers and stuff like that. So that's neat. And then, something crazy happened during that, which I was not expecting. So, I had to take the subway and then a different train. So 2 different trains to get to the wedding venue. And then even then, the wedding venue was like a 10-minute car ride away, or like an hour walk, one of those situations. And I did not want to walk because that seemed very, very silly and ill-advised. But so I was like, oh, well, you know, it's a 10-minute drive, so I'll just get a Lyft or an Uber or something. And then, you know, I got there, I booked one, and then they immediately canceled. I was like, great. And I didn't have that much time ahead of time to, like, prepare for this. Like, I couldn't have really scheduled it because like, I had to rely on 2 different trains, so I didn't know what it was going to look like. Like, I didn't know how likely I was to hit the mark. So I was like, okay, well, I've got roughly, like, I basically need a Lyft or an Uber within the next, like, 20 minutes, or I'm going to be late to this wedding. So I wasn't stoked about that. Continuing the saga of me just being very upset that I don't have a car anymore. Because cars are expensive. And it's just, like, it's wild that, like, in a time of, like, all-time high, like, inflation and stuff like that, and all that good stuff, just the economy collapsing. I don't know if this is just the US or the world, to be honest. I think the world is suffering a little bit. It's particularly bad in the US. So, it's really wearing on me, if I can be completely upfront with you. Getting my car was like my first sign of like, or my first like feeling of freedom when I had my car. But it was a shitbox and it broke down constantly. And just as a reminder I'm sure we talked about this before, but just if you didn't know, my car had broken down a couple times. It had broken down maybe like 10 times. But it had broken down at an intersection like 4 times. Like front of the intersection, 3 different other lanes of traffic and a lane behind me, and just like my car will just completely stop. The first time it happened, it was because I don't know which belt it is, but one of the belts basically just snapped. So like the car effectively just completely, the engine just shut down. No chance of reviving that. They was just done. And that was really fucking scary, because I was coming back from work when I worked overnights. So I was like, it was like 8 a.m. and I was like in the front, and I was like, after working an entire night, I was like on my way home, like halfway there, and halfway in like my 45-minute drive, and I like in the middle of an intersection just broke down, and I was like terrified. So then I had to push, and I know how this is gonna sound, but I'm gonna push through it. I had to push my car into a gas station that luckily was at the corner of this intersection, but it was uphill. So I had to push my car uphill. Luckily, someone got out of their car and helped me. It was very nice of them. And that's a really scary thing to happen. I don't know if you can imagine that. If you can imagine breaking down in a car in the front of an intersection, and then like as the light turns green, your car just fucking stops. It's horrifying. I really can't express how terrifying it is. So that happened a couple years ago. Then when I got my new job working for WB Games, I think I was on a lunch break, and I'd like gone like down the street to pick something up from and I'd gone, you know, like I said, gone down the street to pick something up. Was on my way back, and at a different intersection, and the car just stops. Same as before. It's fully it just dies, and then it won't turn over, and I'm like, I am gonna scream. I cannot believe this has happened twice. So then, so I'm fucking losing it at this point. I'm like, how is this even possible that this can happen multiple times? So this time it's a little more difficult. So I don't have a convenient gas station that's on my side in the corner. I have, I think just a restaurant on the left side. On the right side, it's just like a residential building or like an office building. And to like the top left or top right, there's a Staples with a very long like parking lot to go into. And then on the left side, you know, funny enough, there is actually like an AutoZone, but it like I can't to get to the AutoZone. I would have to push my car diagonal, like across the street, and I couldn't do it. There's no fucking way. So I actually just pushed it into the Staples parking lot along a very long driveway. Like you don't just like a Staples, like it's not, the entrance isn't just like on the side of the road. Like you have to go up. It's got its own parking lot. So I get into that parking lot, and I'm like telling my dad and like telling like, and I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? Telling my coworkers I might be a little late. Typically, that's the American way, by the way. Is that like your car breaks down? Hey, I might be a little late. I'm gonna have to abandon my car here. I will get back to finish my shift though. I promise. Like just such an American mentality. So I eventually I do manage to get it running again in that parking lot, but then I take it to the AutoZone across the street. I'm like, can you like check what's wrong with this? And they did a little machine and they plugged it in and they were like, yeah, it's got something. I forget what it was at the time, but I think one of them was like, yeah, it's got like a. It like they're like, yeah, there's like a bulb that's out. It's like in like one of the it's not like the headlights or anything like that. There's like a bulb somewhere that's out. And I'm like, okay, well that's not what just caused my car to stop working. They're like, no, probably not. And I'm like, great. So I just ignored it. I drove back to work carefully, and then I drove home. I don't remember what I ended up doing. I think I took it to a mechanic, and they ended up just like, you know, doing some work on it and fix it. I genuinely don't remember what the problem was. So then, that was probably 2019, maybe like, no, that would have had to be 2019 because it definitely was like summer-ish time because I was sweating my ass off. Then, the craziest thing happened in 2020. I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna go all the way in. But during the pandemic, I had been sent home to work from home in about mid-March, like March 12th, I think was the exact date. And so this would have been like April like 25th, something like that. But like we've been home for a little bit, and I was just like grabbing groceries and I was like driving home, and I had to go to, there was like an intersection that like, and once again there was an intersection, and this one it was kind of on a hill. Like if you were coming from I don't know if these cardinal directions are accurate, but if you were coming from like the east, you'd be going downhill, and then if you were coming from the west, you'd be going uphill, and then if you were coming from north or south, it would just be even. So it was like that. It was like kind of built on a hill. I was coming west, or I was whatever when I said. So I was going uphill. There was a car in front of me, and then there was a line of cars behind me, and the car stops. And I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. My car is going to stop uphill, and this time there is nothing. I'm straight in the middle. Like, it's this intersection. There's nothing to pull off of. There's barely a sidewalk. Like, there's nowhere for me to go. I am locked in, and I'm about to block a bunch of cars if my car doesn't fucking work. I am panicking more than I have ever panicked in my fucking life. Just, like, frantically turning it, trying to do everything I can to get it to start. Finally starts up, and it's, like, lugging along. Like, I am flooring it to get it up this hill. And I, eventually, I go, like, maybe, like, 5 to 10 minutes. And I managed to make it to my parking lot, my then building, and I just like get out of the car. I'm like, I'm never fucking driving this thing again. Like, I'm so sick of it. The amount of times this car has just like absolutely fucked me at the worst possible moment. I can't do it anymore. I'm like, we're in a pandemic. I don't need to drive anywhere. Like, I'll just get my shit delivered. Yeah. And then I left it for like 2 years. I even ended up like getting it towed to my new building, just like, oh, because I'll like fix it eventually or sell. I finally like I actually got a notice from my my property manager, like a year into living in my current building, basically being like, hey, get rid of your car or we're fining you. Or I think it was like, get a sticker or we're fining you. And I was like, nah, I'll just sell it. I thought selling it for scrap would be like a really like involved and annoying process. It was actually very easy. So that was during 2021, end of 2021. Maybe it was last year. It might have been 2022. So I've had no car for basically I stopped driving in like April of 2020, and I haven't really had a car since. So we're going to like 3 years now. Maybe like 3.5 at this point. And I miss it. I miss the freedom of being able to drive. I really don't like getting delivery for like basic things like groceries and stuff. But that's basically just what I've been doing because I'm like, I don't really have any other options. Like I would have assumed that once the pandemic ended, you know, car prices would go up because more people are going back to work. That makes sense. But I also thought that because people weren't driving as much, that the market should go down because they're also not buying them. The market never went down. It just stayed up the whole time. I'm just like, it continues to be like the bane of my existence that getting a car is just this barrier that I managed to cross once. I overpaid for a fucking shitbox. And I just like, I have to cross it again. And I'm like, I don't have the money. I just don't. Like, all I want is like an okay car that maybe that's like 10 to 20 years old. I don't care. Like it can have like 200,000 miles on it. I just want something that runs well. And like if it starts getting bad, it's because, you know, age or because I'm riding it too hard or like whatever. That's fine. But it's just like, even for like a car, like a 2005 car at this point, like it's just like, yeah, and the asking price is $15,000. I'm like, why? What the why? Like, it's just crazy to me. So my big thing is that I really don't want to lease a car because adding, like, I'm already gonna have to start paying insurance again, and then adding like a monthly or weekly car payment, I'm just like, I don't make enough to handle that on top of my current bills. I just don't. So I'm like trying to find like, and I'm continuously trying to save so I can just hopefully find one for like $5,000. And it's just, I'm losing my fucking mind in this. It's just like, it's such a long process too. So like whenever I have to like go into work in the office, I just take a Lyft there and back. It's like fucking $80 out the window. And I'm just like, I know it is more expensive when you combine like delivery fees and like Lyft fees and like train fees and stuff like that. I know it is more expensive than just getting a car, but it sucks. Anyway, that was a tangent. But what I wanted to say was, so I'm very frustrated by not having a car. I don't like having to like come up with these solutions to get to places that aren't like public transit available. But anyway, I ended up texting a picture of my dad. I showed him me and my girlfriend and like dressed up in our wedding garb, and just like heading to a wedding, and like he finally got back to me as I'm like trying to get another lifter, and my girlfriend Amy is trying to get an Uber, and he was like, "Oh, where's the wedding?" And I told him the town, and he was like, "Are you messing with me?" I was like, "What? No. Like, what do you mean?" He was like, I live in that town. I was like, "Oh yeah." Like, they totally forgot he lived there. It wasn't like, it was genuinely like just a case of like, I knew my dad lived like in that general area. I didn't know he lived in the exact town. And I also haven't visited him because, again, I'd like you to cite Exhibit A. I have no car, so I don't go out on outings as often as I might have used to. So, and it's like a whole fucking production for me to go somewhere because I gotta like take like multiple train rides. It's like hours of travel. So often I just don't go anywhere. Also, my relationship with my dad is not. It's good now, but when I moved out from his house, it was a little strained, is a polite way to say it. So that's also part of it. But he also moved during the pandemic, and again, since I haven't driven during the pandemic, I just didn't even know he had a new house, so a new place. Anyway, I was like, oh well, I'm at that station. Like, we're like trying to we're trying to get a ride, and you know, we're kind of struggling. And he was like, I'm literally like 2 minutes from the station. I was like, what? What? And he was like, do you want me to just grab you? And I was like, we have a, at this point, Amy had like gotten a hold of someone to like gotten an Uber. So I was like, do you want to? And he's like, yeah, I'll leave right now. I was like, I mean, how far are you? Because we have an Uber that's gonna be here in like 5 minutes. He's like, I'll be there in 2. I was like, okay. I told Amy, and she canceled hers. And sure enough, there my dad was in like 2 minutes. I had no idea he lived that close. I wish I had. I literally spent like a week stressing where I was like, it's a 10-minute drive. And I know it's going to be annoying to get a drive there. And I'm like, it's so close. We get so close to the venue, but just not quite there. And I was like, I could ask some friends to like pick me up on the way, but A, some of them were there like hours early because they were in the wedding party. And B, some of them were like fucking running late. So I'm like, I had nothing. And also I asked my coworkers, they'll occasionally give me a ride into work or back from work. So I feel guilty asking them for even more rides. But so it's just like, I couldn't believe that my dad was like right there. And then the kicker is that was how my dad met my girlfriend. We've been dating for 3 years, and just like, I've only seen my dad once during that time. Because again, pandemic. But also just like, because we live pretty far away from each other, and I don't have a car. And also I didn't really make an effort. I'll be honest. It's fine. I kept trying to like get him to come this way. But he kept running into problems and stuff like that. So, but it was very cool. He met my dad and my nephew, and then, I'm sorry, she met my dad, my nephew, and then we went to the wedding. We had a lovely time. Very cool wedding. It was still a wedding, which like I kind of think weddings are overrated. But I did have a good time. It was very, I hate dressing up. Dressing up is fun, like, in like a, oh cool, I get to wear these neat clothes kind of way, but it's stressful in like a, you have to wear these nice clothes kind of way. So I'm wearing uncomfortable but nice looking shoes. I'm dressed in dress pants and you know, like a button up and a tie, and it's 85 degrees out. I'm like, why does everyone want a summer wedding? God damn it. Everyone should get married in the winter. I'm not very good in the summer. I sweat in a t-shirt and shorts, so I was sweating a lot that day, which is to say yesterday. But it was a good time. I really did genuinely enjoy myself. It was cool to hang out with my coworkers outside of work. It was cool for Amy to meet them. I was very happy to see my boss get married. He seemed very happy, which is nice because my boss is a friend of mine, so like it's fine. It's good to see him, and overall pretty good. He had theme tables for all the different like tables, and there was after the ceremony. Also, he got married by another one of our coworkers, which is really cool, or former coworkers, I should say. But the tables were themed. There was a Halo table, there was an Alf table, there was a Star Wars table. We were at the Muppets table, which I was like, yes. He was like, my boss knows I'm a fan of the Muppets, and we bond over that. So he was like telling me all the different parts he had there, and he was like, have you seen this? Isn't this cool? I was like, it is pretty fucking cool. Also, one thing that was different about his wedding than the other two that I've been to in my adulthood is that him and his now wife were actually like very present during the wedding. And the weddings I've gone to, they're like the bride and groom can't be found because they're either taking photos, putting on fires, or seeing like a bunch of family members and stuff. So like him being able to like check in with us, and that was partially because it was a little smaller of a wedding, but also just like because the way he like formatted it. Honestly, that was really cool. One of the things that like really bothered me from the weddings I went to before was that it's just like it looks like the bride and groom are fucking miserable. Like just like they're just running everywhere. They're doing so much. It seems like so much fucking work. And I'm like, ugh. But it was good to see like even like relaxing standards a little bit, but also keeping it pretty professional. Like it was good to see them having a good time. So I really did appreciate that. But yeah, so it was a good time overall. So on the way back, my dad did offer to take us there, and he was like, oh, and you can stop in and watch, and you can like see your nephew. I have to explain this. I've been rolling it in my head if I want to explain this or not. I'm just gonna go with it. My nephew is currently in a phase where he's really into Michael Jackson. Madoki Betamon! Oh, alright, we gotta go for this. Actually, I don't know if I'll make it. What is this? What does this area look like? Hold on. Sorry, I had to talk about gameplay or go to do the gameplay for a second. Okay. He's gonna keep going, huh? I mean, I could probably do this. So we're just gonna use a toy car. Even without the heart, I think it's still a chance to join. It's just a smaller chance. I don't want to use both toy cars because I can't buy them, I don't think. Maybe I can, I don't remember. So we're just gonna use one. I think this might put me in the battle with them. Yeah. I want Madoki Betamon. That'd be pretty cute. Little forest Betamon. I don't think Madoki Betamon is in the normal game. But I could be wrong about that. Brother. Yeah, so my nephew is really in a big Michael Jackson phase right now, where just constantly watching all of his songs on YouTube and stuff like that. I think he's 7 or 7.5. He did specifically tell me 7.5 yesterday, so I should remember that. But like, he's got like a Michael Jackson wig, he's got the outfits, he's got a little hat. And he'll like watch the YouTube video, or they put the YouTube videos on, and he'll like dance to them. And when like people, and when it's not like, you know, guests, he'll like straight up like sing along and stuff like that. He'll like do the movement, like he would do the like like the little like little efforts that Michael Jackson does during his songs. So that was pretty cool, pretty cute. But what happened was we were on the way back, and like we needed to make the train back. And my dad offered to drive us all the way. Maybe I don't want to do that. Hold on. We'll let it rock. I'm trying not to kill Madoki Betamon first. We'll see if I get lucky. I did in fact get lucky. Good. But yeah, he was. I hate that it misses. I hate that it doesn't autocorrect. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so my dad picked us up. And we still had a good amount of time before the train, but like I didn't tell him that. And so we're on the way back, and he did offer to drive us all the way like back to my apartment, but my girlfriend doesn't really do super well in cars, especially without like prep. She gets like bad motion sickness. She's a city girl, you have to understand. just messing around. Yeah, so like if it was the option, we'd rather just take the train. It's a little more stable. Yeah. Maybe one of the most annoying traps. But anyway, as we're like driving to the station, we have to pass my dad's house on the way there, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like, you know, because Elijah was so looking forward to it, my nephew. And he was like, he really wanted to answer it, and like me, I'm immune to my dad's Jewish guilt. Okay, I've heard a lot in my life, a lot of, and I had to explain to Amy what Jewish guilt was after, which is, and I can say this, it's my dad. It's a lot of like, whereas Catholic guilt is like, you should feel bad about everything you do ever, always. Jewish guilt is, you don't have to go see your nephew. It's fine. I understand you're very busy, but it would really be nice if you did. I'm just saying you can do it. I know you're an adult. You can do what you need to do. It would be really nice if you visited your nephew. But I understand you're very busy. It's like, that is classic. My entire life growing up, I was just, so I'm immune to it, and I'm like, I will come back later. I promise. My girlfriend is not immune to it. Because she was like, well, I don't want your nephew to feel sad. So we should like make a small stop. I'm like, okay. And it was like, I was trying to do it so that she wouldn't feel stressed, like meeting, like it was a surprise meeting of my dad. So I was like very much trying not to like over stress her out. Like, hey, meet everyone in my life all at once on one day. But I was like, okay, we can go. And so we watched him do his little routine, and that was cute. Oh, I just realized. I forgot to, oh man, I hope it's not too late. I forgot to to try and go from Madoki-Beetle. I got distracted by my own story. And then we went back, and I talked with my dad a little bit, and we went from there. And then later, I explained to my girlfriend what my dad did with the guilt. To be fair, that could just be parental guilt, but it's a very honed and weaponized parental guilt. All right, let's see. So this happens, right? It's at this screen. Maybe it does have to. Maybe you do have to at least get a heart. Because I know it checks. It checks for if you made it or not after the screen. It doesn't always pop. Huh. Maybe I do. That's weird. I really didn't think you needed it. I thought it was just like a chance. But I guess maybe you do need to like cross the threshold. Okay, we'll go back. This is a learning experience for me. We'll go back to before the battle if possible. Again, I don't have to do this. This is just more of like, oop, too far. Okay, never mind. Can't do it. Sorry, Madoki-Beetle. I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to use you. Sorry, toy car. I wasted you. These things can happen, though. All right, good note. So make sure a heart appears above their head before I do that next time. Oh, it actually didn't explode me that time. Interesting. That's good to know. Traps are not guaranteed to go off. Yeah, when we finally got home, and I was fucking exhausted. I was just like, I just wanna. And we both were. We were just like, we just need to pack it in for the night. So that's my my wedding story and how my girlfriend met my dad. So there you go. What? A guard? Tamer. It's not good. I can't let you leave seeing me. I have to return the item. Sorry, buddy. If you're causing problems, you gotta go. Okay. I guess he's dead. I do have another thing I want to talk about. So, I actually haven't been playing that many video games recently, which is sad. I've been playing a lot. Basically the only video games I've been recording are for YouTube, like these. Like this is me playing a video game. So a little bit like work because I'm talking the whole time, or I have to like edit after, or I have to do thumbnails and stuff. So it's not the most relaxing for me. It's not, it's not tedious, not always. But that's really been the only way I've been playing video games recently, and it's kind of a bummer. I was playing Elden Ring for a while, but I finally got to the Atlas Plateau, and I looked at a guide and I'm like, okay, basically now you basically want to go to Caelid, or you want to go to the Atlas Plateau. And I know this doesn't make sense to people who haven't played Elden Ring. I'm just trying to give a general idea of where I am in the game. And I just sort of got overwhelmed, where I was like, there's just so much to do. I had an itch to play Elden Ring, and I feel like I scratched it. So like, I don't want to force myself to play through it. But then I went through my backlog. This is just on PlayStation. I went through my backlog and like made a folder of all the games that like I wanted to play, but haven't gotten around to. And there were like 72 games. I was like, oh my god, this is too many. And I got like overwhelmed, where I'm just seeing a wall of games. Like I have no idea which one to choose. So I did what any rational person would do, and I put all of them in a Google Sheet and started operationalizing it. Here's let me pull up the Google Sheet to read off of. I haven't decided if I want to share it yet. Like I haven't decided if I want it to be viewable by people. But so for instance, we have Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed, and then we have picture of the game because I'm kind of visual, and then my description (parentheses based on what I know). A game where you fight random people on the street by stripping them. Akiba's Trip. ... Akiba Strip. Get it? This is just for me. This is just writing for myself. And then a description from Wikipedia, Google, Steam, whatever. The series revolves around an otaku teenager Tamatsu Dengaki, or Denki guy, and his sister Niwaka, who are presently shopping in Akihabara, Tokyo, Japan. Suddenly, without warning, vampiric cosplaying monsters known as bugged ones run rampant throughout the city. That's just what I picked. Time to beat, which is 15 hours. Platinum difficulty, 3 out of 10, 4 playthroughs, 30 hours. Metacritic score, which is review score and then user score. So 57 by review outlets, and then 70 is the user score. and then my desire to play it, and it's like a 2 out of 5. I'm like I would be fine playing it, but I don't currently want to really play it. So like I've got all those games on there. I've made it to, where did I make it to? I made it to Pyre, which is P, and they are like alphabetical. So I've just been filling this out, and I have so many games on here. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I might record some of these, because like a game on here is Boyfriend Dungeon, and that did pretty well. So I think I might just do like these as like one-offs and record them and upload them, and like, but make it like a game out of it. Put them all in a wheel and be like, what am I going to play today? And then pick it, and then I'll read the description on the video about it, and we'll go from there. But that was just an idea I've had, like kicking around. I might do that later today, actually. But actually, I have to finish the sheet first. Like I said, it's not finished because it was a lot of work. It took like hours and hours to get all of this like info together. But I think it'll help me later, because then I can sort by like, you know, why don't I pick a short game and I'll sort it by time to beat, or why don't I pick a game that's an easy platinum and sort it by platinum difficulty, or Metacritic user, or like my desire to play it. Believe it or not, have not found a game that is 5 out of 5 for my desire to play it, and I'm like, that's probably why I have a fucking backlog, because none of them like I really, really want to play. Boss deleted. It's tried to say something about an item, right? Oh, there it is. Just take it with me, I guess. And a dynamo part. Yeah. Sorry for holding up the game again, though. I did want to make sure I remember to explain that, because I think it's a cool idea, but I don't know if I don't know how well it'll work. I might have just been killing time instead, and then I like won't even look at this list. But I think it'll be fun, because I think it'll be even if I don't really vibe with the game, as long as I just try it, I can just erase it from the backlog and be like, all right, moving on. So we'll see. I'm like I said, I'm in a weird spot with it. I just can't force myself to play a game right now. But like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to save money. Like I'm trying really, really hard. So like there's a part of me where it's like, maybe I should just buy Armored Core, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and it's $70. Like I'll just wait for it to go on sale. I don't need to play it right now, but I am slowly losing my mind because I'm not playing video games, so I have no outlet for my stress, and I'm not de-stressing. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Leader Vandar, I have a report on the mission. Wild Digimon troops in the Oofy Uplands and the Peaky Preserve have been destroyed. Doing a great job out there, Nick. Keep at it. Next, I have information for you that's come in while you've been on the mission. Surprisingly, the city was contacted by an outside group. They call themselves the Meditation Dome. Digimon is representing them. We've formally become allies with that group of peaceful Digimon and will support them. However, you should take a rest, Nick. Tamer Club is a nice, relaxing place or space. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, this is the one where we like hear about a mission, right? Oh, that's cool. Oh, I thought they were gonna teleport me like all the way to the map. That would have been cooler. I feel like I did the domains in the wrong order. I feel like I did the easy domain second, which happens sometimes. Yep, here we go. Gee, it sure is boring around here. I'd much rather be doing some exploring instead of sitting here resting. Psst. Hey, over here. Mark Vandar? Is that you? Yeah, what's up? Oh, Mark Schultz, that's right. There's a different one who's Vandar. I'm Mark Schultz. You're Nick, right? Just happened over here, you say you wanted to go exploring. Just happen to have the coordinates to a new, relatively unexplored location. Wow, what a coincidence. But why not go explore it yourself? Well, you see, I'm actually on a mission. I can't really abandon to go explore right now myself, but you on the other hand, you get all the free time in the world right now, yeah? So why not take a look? Also, this might be a domain for Wild Digimon now, so if you go out there and take care of it before it becomes a problem, and I go report that I found a domain while on a different mission, but you're on it, it'll be great for both of our records. What do you say? I don't know. Make it worth your time, don't worry. Come back if you want to take me up on the offer. Odd. I know, I kind of miss his dialogue in the original because I think it's really funny. Where he's just like, yeah, I kind of messed up DNA Digivolving, so I can't really go out right now. I'm like, oh, too real. Too real. I kind of don't like that they got rid of it. I was like, if anything, that was like a really good line, but that's fine. Man, I really need to upgrade my parts. Yikes. I just go back to the Tamer Split. thought about the offer a bit more? Yeah, I'll do it. Someone has to anyway. Hey, here's something extra sweet in the deal. Saving a toy plane for a while, but I don't really need it. If you've agreed to do that, I'll give it to you instead. All Digimon love toy gifts. The plane more so than others. Use it wisely, Nick. Use the positional data on field. Be careful out there. Alright, Mark. Good luck on your mission. Me. When Mark and I would go to high school together. Good luck on your mission. You're like, what? I'm like, nothing. Don't worry about it. Nick received toy plane and location of field. Oh yeah, there's a trade I can do, isn't there? And the rumor of peace-loving Digimon is true. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? We're even allies with them now. Yeah, I should go check in with the trader. I don't know if they're like on the same deal. That's the problem with recording these like kind of far away because I forget to do little things like this. Welcome. Here to check for you. Currently looking for a Floramon exchange with the clear Agumon we've raised. If you have a Floramon, and want to trade, I can get a Floramon again. That shouldn't be too hard to find. Maybe I can do that right now. I've got some time. I do need toy stuff to get Floramon, unfortunately. And I think I only have one. But I can find them in chests, right? Also, I don't know when the junk part stuff starts. I really hope it's not. I hope they changed it in this game. In this mod, I mean. Yeah, you don't have anything. I'm so tired. You know what really was like the worst part of how active I was yesterday? I didn't even like walk that far. It was just a lot of standing. But like my feet were killing me. Like it was pretty rough. Especially because the shoes are like, I only wear those shoes in like nice events. I've worn them like, you know, like 4 or 5 times. So they're not really that broken in. And they're just kind of uncomfortable. I do think they look nice. I just don't like them. I'm a sneaker guy. If you couldn't tell from the everything about me, I'm a big sneaker guy. Actually, I should clarify. Not like a collects sneakers and has like a wall of them. I know some people go way too hard. I mean, like, I have one pair of sneakers that I will wear into the fucking ground. And then I'll buy a new pair like 2 years later. That's the kind of sneaker guy I am. Very much do not spend money on shoes. I also have size 13 feet, so it's not really a luxury I can really do. It's kind of annoying for me to shoe shop, so I try not to do that often. Let's see. Could buy the missile gun. I sure don't want to. Still get the crab battery. I think I did get the lion engine. Ragged hand. I am really tired. I went to bed, I think at like 2 last night. I got up at 9, which is not that much. That's not that bad, but I don't know, man. Leave me alone. How about that? Stop judging me. I'm tired. Just leave me. I don't need any commentary. I'm just tired. We can leave it at that. Sometimes things are just simple. Okay. Just upgrade the battery once. I don't know when they're gonna start selling the second battery. Well, we've only got one toy car, but I guess I can find them in chests, so we can try and go for them on. It might be enough if it's level 1, but I think they only spawn at level 2. I know they were definitely in this domain, though. But also, it's not a bad idea just to, like, fight more, because we're close to hitting level 11, which is not a bad level to start fusing. I don't know what the level cap is for these Digimon off the bat, though. I should try and figure that out. So the way this game works in the original, and I assume is similar, if not the exact same to how it works in this mod. In the original, and someone explained this to us as well. In the original, when your Digimon will hit a level cap. I think the first level cap is usually around like level 13. And I think, or maybe sometimes like 15, I don't know. It differs. It depends on what level you get them at, and a couple other factors. But they'll hit a level cap where like their XP will just permanently say 999 until next level, so they like literally can't. So then you go and DNA Digivolve them with someone else who hit their level cap, just to like, you know, so you can make them better and whatnot. And the DNA Digivolve, or the new Digimon, it will be a level or an evolution lower than whatever you fuse them together. So if you fuse two, and they have to be at least champions. So if you fuse a champion with a champion, you get a rookie, and so on and so forth. You get it from there. And the way they calculate the new max level is they take whatever your current max level was. So let's say 13 was the max. Then they and let's say they're both the Digimon are level 13. You take the highest level, since they're tied, it would be 13. And then you take the other one and divide it by 5 and round down. So 13 and then 13 divided by 5, but rounding down would be 2, because 2 times 10, or 2 times 5 is 10, and you know, you can't go up to 15. So then it would be 13 plus 2, and then it would be level 15. So that's how it should work in the original. I hope they changed it for this, because honestly, that felt pretty slow. I actually really did not like that about the original game, because it felt like every time I was making progress, the game would just slow to a fucking crawl. So I'm not super big on it. Okay. Let's see if this works. I need like a tiny heart. Okay, I'm not using a toy plane on you, so you can suck my dick. I don't know then. I mean, there is a chest here. I just don't know if it's worth it, because they didn't give me a heart. I'm gonna try and take that back. I like need a second toy car before I can get a Floramon. Oh, they won't go in this area. Interesting. No, too late. Barely missed it. Anyway. Yeah, I don't really know how it works. It'd be cool if this game just didn't have level caps, but because like there's still incentive to DNA Digivolve. Like they didn't need to do the level cap, because like DNA Digivolve Digimon are like way stronger because they inherit some of the stats and they inherit the moves and stuff like that. So there's like really good reasons to DNA Digivolve. They did not like the level cap is just like an annoyance that like forces it to happen. I'm willing to bet that if you fully remove the level cap of all the Digimon and just like let them just go naturally, you wouldn't be able to beat the game because they would be too HP just 1. Ugh. Because they would be too weak. Maybe I won't be able to do it. That's okay though. Like I said, I don't need to get more Digimon here. It'd just be nice. My main thing is that I'm just continuing to gain experience, even if it's very fucking slow. But yeah, I know I can't do anything until we get another toy car. So that'll be what I wait for. Also, some of these Digimon are pretty close quarters. Like, it's pretty difficult to even like fight these guys without triggering, or to get these guys in a space where you can even throw a gift without triggering a battle. I wonder if I could. Again, very, very tired. I wonder if it would be possible to still use cheats to just like give myself toy items. But I feel like that would be disingenuous. Like, I don't mind doing that in like vanilla Digimon World 2 because that game is broken and unfair. But this mod has been pretty well balanced so far, so I feel like I shouldn't do that because I don't want to like make a mod that's fairly balanced unbalanced in my favor, especially, because then that would be really fucking boring. What else have I been up to? Playing a lot of Bleach Brave Souls in my downtime. Currently rereading through Naruto. I don't know if I mentioned this series, but I know I mentioned it recently. Rereading Naruto because I was very unhappy with kind of the last like third of Naruto. So I'm like, was it just me? Like, I'm like, was it just like a rough read like week to week? Like, if I binge read it, is it a better story? So far, I don't think so. I'm on like chapter like 500 out of I think like 700 or like 800 or something like that. Naruto has interesting character designs and there are some cool fights and stuff like that, but I think overall, my opinion of Naruto is pretty much, it's just not good writing. Like, it is by no means a masterpiece. Like even Dragon Ball, which I also don't think is like particularly good writing. Dragon Ball is really good with their characters. Like, you know the difference between every character in Naruto, but they're ultimately pretty worthless. Like, once you get to a certain point in the story, it's just Naruto and Sasuke. Nobody else can do anything. They're legally not allowed. Sometimes we let Kakashi do things. That's it. And I don't think Dragon Ball Dragon Ball has that problem too. but they're fixing it now. With Dragon Ball, that was a big problem with just, it was the Goku and Vegeta show, and then Vegeta would lose to everyone, and then Goku would barely beat them. After one nonsense power-up, followed by nonsense power-up, and crazy power creep and whatnot. They're doing a little better with that. I think there are a couple characters, like maybe like 4 or 5, that can like actually do things in Dragon Ball now. But again, I also think Dragon Ball is kind of bad at that. So it's like, it's not like I'm being like Naruto sucks with Dragon Ball rules. No, that's also Dragon Ball's maybe biggest failing, is deciding who to give spotlight to. Naruto, on the other hand, it's just weird. They just like, I don't know. I feel like everything in Naruto is like, Naruto will have a big fight, and then he'll get a crazy new power-up during the fight, and then he'll use that power-up once, and then immediately will go into another training arc to learn a new power. And then he'll use that, and he'll barely win a fight, and then he'll either go training again, or he'll get another, like, out-of-nowhere power-up. It's just a lot. It's just, I don't, you know. It's just kind of crazy. And I know that what I said was basically describing Dragon Ball as well. I hear it. The thing about Naruto that I think kind of bothers me is that it feels like what they were trying to go with was Naruto worked so hard, and he trained so hard, and he was able to surpass everyone's expectations for him, and was just an all-around good noodle, and is just like the best of us and whatnot. And I thought that's what the game, or I thought that's what the anime and the manga were trying to show. But then they just keep giving, it also just gets weirder. Like it goes from like, wow, he really worked hard, to wow, they're really going hard into genetics in this series. Because like they try to say like, oh, Naruto did all this, he worked so hard. It's like, yeah, but also his like innate abilities, his chakra, are like 4 times a normal person's. Like, and that's because he's like has this like incredible like parentage that they reveal like, you know, 3/5 of the way through the story. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Naruto's dad was the 4th Hokage, and also his mother was from a clan that's like known to have like huge reserves of chakra. And it's like, oh, okay. So he like kind of had an advantage then. And then also he was trained by like one of the best ninja of all time, and also his teacher is one of the best ninja of all time. So it's like, okay, well, hold on. This is going from working hard to nepotism real fast. So like, it really does feel like Naruto is a story of nepotism, and I don't think the sequel series is changing that. Like, I feel like Boruto, that's got to be more prevalent. Of like everything he does, it's like, well, yeah, he's the father of the 7th Hokage, the hero of the Great Ninja War. Like, it's just like, you know, all of it. Like, I don't know. It's just funny to read. I did recently read read Dragon Ball for the first time, and I do think Dragon Ball is slightly overrated, but I do think it's good. I do enjoy Dragon Ball. I don't really enjoy Naruto. I think I kind of like it, but I'm not like crazy about it. After I finish rereading Naruto, I'm just gonna drop it, to be honest. I'm not gonna go read Boruto or anything like that. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I got enough. Whereas with Dragon Ball, I'm like, yeah, I'll read Super, sure. Let's see what they get up to. Like, I'm curious what they're gonna keep going with it. If anything, I think Dragon Ball like course corrected. Dragon Ball is the father of like bad like power scaling anime, of like the rules don't matter, just, you know, make cool fights. And to be fair, they're kind of right sometimes. Sometimes you're like, okay, none of this makes sense. What's going on here? Okay, well, that killed me for an HP disc, so I'm not gonna let that happen, especially since I'm just here grinding. Anyway, I don't know, like, it's fine. I don't think I hate Naruto or anything, but like, I'm currently getting to the point where I might start to hate it, if that makes sense. I think Naruto gets like kind of bad after the pain fight, and I finished the pain fight, and it's just a lot. My favorite, since I'm already here, my biggest problem with Naruto is it does a lot of things that don't feel earned. Like, they do a lot of talking, but not like showing, if that makes sense. Like, Naruto be like, Sasuke's my best friend, and I'm like, you spent like 2 months with him. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? You spent 2 months with him and went on like 2 missions. Like, what do you mean he's your fucking, like, what? And I'm sure the series is trying to say like some off-screen stuff happened, but that's what I mean, where it's like talking and not showing. Where like there are multiple characters that have dedicated their entire lives to like finding Sasuke, and I'm like, you knew him for like a couple months. That's crazy. He was like, you guys were 12. Can you imagine like that working today? And like let me give you the example of what that sounds like. Imagine you made friends with someone in 8th grade, and then they went to a different school and you lost contact with them. And then you like study in your new school very hard. And you like you're, oh, I have Beamon too. I wouldn't be able to get those Digimon. Oh, that might be why they wouldn't join my party, because I already had Beamon. Oh, that makes sense. But yeah, imagine you had this really good friend in 8th grade, and then they went to a different high school, and in a different, like, you know, a couple states away, or a couple, like, 100 miles away, and you were like, I'm never gonna forget them. I'm always gonna treasure them. And just make it like your life's mission to, like, reunite with them. Ignoring all of the friends you've made in current high school. Like, imagine we flash forward, and it's, like, 11th grade, and you're like, I'm still focused on that one friend who I haven't talked to in years, but I think about them every goddamn day. Everything I do is for them. And, like, it's just so weird. Now take that, because that's Naruto. Take that. Now imagine you fell in love with this person when you were 12 years old, even though you've barely talked to them, you don't know anything about them, and now you're in 11th grade, and you're still like, I'm gonna find them one day, and we're gonna get married, and we're gonna fall in love. It's like, whoa, hold on, that's getting a little weird here. So, it just feels so odd. It's so, I don't know. The story doesn't make sense. They put a lot of stock in things that, like, I don't think they've earned the right to. So that's where I'm at with Naruto. Does that help you guys? Does that clear things up for you? I don't know. I think in terms of like shonen manga and anime, there's much better. I will say this: I think the anime. This is one of the few times where I think the anime is better than the manga at points, which is not my default. So I think that's pretty cool. It's good that the anime was able to bring out more. I feel that way about what is it? Demon Slayer? Yeah, that's what it's called. I was like, I know the Japanese name, I think, but I don't remember what the real name is. That's how I feel about that. Like, the manga was fine. It's like an okay, like, average story. I don't think it was particularly great, but I think the anime is what makes that really good. I don't know what else to put away. We'll put this away for now. Yeah, I guess this has been Nick's, like, wedding recap, car story recap. What else did I do? Wedding recap, car recap, talked about my backlog, which I might turn into a new video series. I'm like still trying to figure it out in my head. And then also my Naruto breakdown, my Naruto synopsis. So I hope you guys liked that. And if you did, hey, drop a like on the video, why not? Like I said, I can only really do these videos when I have shit to talk about, because there's a lot of just running around in dungeons, and even then I didn't even really get anything done that last little bit. So I'm gonna keep trying. Let me double check. I think you have to be level 11 to Teenage Evolve, not level 10, just to see. But yeah, I still need to find a good way to grind. I really wish that Digimon that weren't in the battle still got like some XP. I feel like that's my favorite thing about modern RPGs, is like XP is not like a fucking monster to get through. You don't have to like do this, you don't have to like grind like a bunch in a row. Yeah, you have to be level 11. Okay. Alright, we'll get there. I don't know, should I do it offline? I haven't really decided. I don't want, like, I also don't really think I care about Clear Agumon. Is maybe a better way to put it. I don't think I care about Clear Agumon. I think I'm fine not having that. Maybe I won't go after Floramon. I do want to try and get to level 11 on all three of them though. So I might just go through that next domain, or I don't know. Maybe we'll mess around the next domain a little bit and see what happens. But I don't want to go too hard. I'm also thinking like usually the next domain, at least in the vanilla game, is kind of like a wall where you need all three champions. because you start fighting like ultimates and stuff. So we'll see. But I'm gonna leave that there for now. I don't want to commit to this, but I'll let you guys know what I'm trying to do. I might try to do this every 2 weeks. I think that might be a cadence I can kind of do, or maybe close to it, like within two weeks to a month, depending on how much time I have and how things are going. Is what I'm going to try to aim for. Like, I want to make this a regular series, but I cannot make it weekly. I'm not interesting enough to make it weekly. I'm gonna be real with you. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. We're slowly making progress. We're getting there. So, thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.